Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. As you know, I've been astral projecting now for about 57 years, and I've heard just about every question that you can think of, most of them millions of times. But every so often, I'll get a question that actually shocks me. I'm asked why people should astral project. When I hear that question, I react like someone might if a crawling baby had the verbal skills to ask why he should bother learning to walk. After all, crawling has been getting him where he wants to go, so why bother going through all the hassle of learning yet another traveling skill? Of course, I can attribute some of this puzzling query to plain ignorance of astral projection and what it can accomplish. But I'm still left shocked as to the complete lack of simple curiosity that such a question advertises about the person asking it. Even worse, one day we all must transition from the physical to the astral in death. Are we the only ones, Astral Club members here and other well-wishers and people who are interested in astral projection, are we the only ones who want to be a little bit prepared when we make such a rather large and important transition? For a moment, let's steer this back to the physical world. How many people do you know who would enjoy going to bed one night in the United States, Canada, Latin and South America, or Europe, and awakening the next morning only to find themselves lying on a busy street in Beijing, China? I imagine most would be profoundly disoriented by finding themselves quite unexpectedly confronted by strange customs, language, geography, and laws. For those more adventurous souls not dissuaded by this example, how would you like to wake up suddenly in war-torn Syria? These examples on the physical plane may seem outlandish, but I can assure you that many souls transitioning to the astral in death can be just as confused, lost, and frightened as someone waking up unexpectedly in a foreign city. Imagine seeing your body lying still and lifeless on your own bed, then watching unobserved and unheard as strangers came and took away your physical shell while your loved ones cried. Try to understand the state of such a soul finding themselves for the first time in the odd lower astral plane. However, at least in this example, the perplexed soul may relatively quickly come to the conclusion that they've passed on. Other souls with no astral experience and perhaps unhelpful or no religious beliefs or even any thoughts, philosophical or otherwise, about an afterlife may not even realize that they've died. Especially people who are involved in sudden deaths, car accidents, where there was no awareness that death was even close. It suddenly came for them and they were completely unprepared. The plight of these poor people is particularly sad. While it's true, I've seen some souls met by loved ones or spiritual guides and angels. Others appear left on their own. I really don't know why this disparity exists, only that it does. So when can someone, or what can someone do today to help prepare for an eventuality that every human must inevitably face. We all have expiration dates, people. The only difference is some of them are different than others, and we don't know what they are. So what can you do to prepare, if nothing else, for this inevitable situation? Well, learn to astral project, of course. Accomplished astral projectors, when confronted by physical death, will undoubtedly feel some level of loss and varied emotions. But at least we will not suffer from the astral plane confusion that comes from being a stranger in a strange land. Moreover, we can avoid the pitfalls that can trap earthbound souls who are still attached to their physical addictions like drugs, alcohol, and sex. We can also understand that it is healthy to let go of our physical life after a short grieving time and not allow emotional attachments like love or a desire for revenge to bind us to the physical plane. We've even had numerous practice sessions during our lives where we left our physical body behind and we traveled the cosmos. I'd like to expand on my last point a bit. I think we all understand how negative emotions or addictions might chain us like disembodied slaves to this physical plane. And I've discussed this very topic in earlier videos. But how can an otherwise positive emotion like love bind a soul to the physical plane and leave them suffering, preventing onward advancement? I was traveling in the old Soviet Union in 1982 when I had an astral projection one night after a busy day. I found myself flying over the streets of Moscow, just taking in the many sights, when I spotted an old babushka, or Russian grandmother, clearly in distress below. I landed in front of an old apartment building where the slightly transparent astral body of this old woman was seated, head in hands, on some old cracked cement steps. "What's wrong, Mother?" I asked. When I didn't receive a response from her, I increased the power of my transmission. It took some moments before she looked up to acknowledge me. "It's my son and his family. I don't know where they've gone. Who will watch little Nikolai while he and his wife work?" In her turbulent mind, I managed to sift out a few facts. She had died back in 1972, and I believe her son and his family had moved shortly thereafter. This poor bereft soul had spent the last 10 years sitting on these God-forsaken steps in torment due to her deep love for her son and his family. While such love can be very valuable and constructive to humans in our society and physical life, this otherwise positive emotion can hold a soul in the lower astral like hot gum on a hot summer's day. Experienced astral projectors can ensure that their knowledge of the laws of the astral plane, that such a hell will never threaten to entrap their souls when our time to transition arrives. Bottom line, all humans know that one day we'll leave this physical world. However, most are unfamiliar with the world that comes immediately thereafter. By learning to astral project, you can prepare yourself for as easy a transition as possible and eliminate the possibility of becoming an earthbound lost soul like this poor Russian grandmother. Just a side note, I felt myself being pulled back to my body shortly thereafter, so I just issued a distress call in the astral for her, and I fervently hope that it was answered for her. I wasn't able to astral project again in Moscow, so I can only hope that things eventually went well for her. Well, that's what I wanted to discuss today. It's a little bit of a shorter one than usual, but I think the point is something that I wanted to address for a long time, and at least to put together some sort of a coherent response to people who ask that deceptively simple, but to my ears, inexplicable question of why should I astral project? I don't know. Why should you learn to walk or run or drive a car? Because you want to get somewhere, maybe faster, learn new things, see new people? I don't know. Okay, well, that's the video for this week. If you liked it, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell button. Please continue to comment and question. I'm very pleased with the people who become involved with these videos. I read everything and respond as quickly as I can. So once again, thank you. We've gone over 2,000 Astral Club members, subscribers now, so that's good. Let's keep on growing. And as always, I'm Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.